Hey guys, welcome back to our tutorial on MySQL programming. In this video I'm going to teach you people how to create a database, use a database, update, delete, and also ascending and descending order if at all you'd like your information to be in ascending order or descending order depending on the ID or the username or something like that. So also make sure that you have installed xampp in your machine or WAMP server, and also make sure that you have what known as MySQL workbench. MySQL by default, you see it is telling me or showing me that start. That implies not running, so I have to click on it so that start running. So if it is running, to tell you stop. Now if it is that, then come down here and open up your MySQL workbench. So I will start my MySQL workbench. Now what we are going to do here, we are going to create a database. Like just for them, I'm going to create a database for students. So always to create database, I advise you, okay, you come here down to click where they say new. So I will click new so that I create new connection. So I'm just going to call it maybe STD, stand for student database or the student connection. So always in MySQL at default, the username, it provides the username, and the username is the root. And the password, it does not give any password. So just say okay, so that we just leave without a password for the moment. I'll show next video on next tutorial. So just click OK so that you can have the connection in your machine. So in this connection STD that we have just created, double click on it so that we can go straight to the platform where we shall be creating our databases. Okay, now this is the platform that we shall be typing our codes in, and now these are the databases that have already been there, that have been working on my projects that I've been having. So if you try to fetch, those are the databases we have. Now you can also use a MySQL statement that can help you show databases that you already have there. So you just type a statement as show databases. Now this statement helps you to show the databases, and always in MySQL we put a semicolon after. We put a semicolon, or we term this how we terminate a program in MySQL, by putting a semicolon at the end of the sentence. So then you hold Ctrl and Enter when the cursor is blinking at this last after the semicolon. So hold Ctrl and Enter, and if you do so, trust me, you will be seeing or be in position to see the databases that you already have in your machine. Okay, now let us go and create a database. Create one. So we type a statement known as create database, and let us create our database called, or let us give a database name called student. So I'm going to call it student or students. Let us call it students. So also, like I said, you hold the Ctrl and Enter when the cursor is blinking at this last corner. So to show the databases now, we can also again type that same known as show databases, so that can show us the database that we already have in our machine. So if you hold Ctrl and Enter, it will show you that now we also have a database called student here down. Here it is. I know it's not showing here, but if you come and refresh this screen called scammers, if you refresh here, you'll also see a student database here down, that one you just created. To delete a database from in MySQL, you type just a statement known as drop, then database, then you give a database name. If at all the database at the moment that you're going to drop or to delete from this machine, you just type the name of the database after this statement known as drop database. So this statement here, if you hold Ctrl and Enter also, it will actually definitely delete that database, this database from this machine. If I again type this statement here, show databases, if I again hold Ctrl and Enter, if now right now Chrome cross check that database called students, we shall no longer be seeing it here anymore. It's not there. And also if you come down here, if you come here and refresh on these commas or this where it's showing the database, if you refresh it, we shall also not be seeing there anymore of the database called student. So that, guys, that's how we delete database from the using MySQL. Now at the moment, let us again create this database called MyStudent that we had created at default. So let us hold Ctrl and Enter. So I believe now that database is now created. Now maybe another statement that I have to let you know. If again you hold the Ctrl and Enter after just typing that this field database that you have created, if again you hold the Ctrl and Enter after the cursor, when the cursor is blinking at the last after the same column, it will give you a star here, or it will give you that, tell you that the row or database already exists. And secondly, that is a sign that shows that database is already existing there. And secondly, and whenever you have this kind of errors in your machine, or whenever you have this kind of stuff, a button with a star on in between, it implies that the code you have entered, either it might also be a wrong code, invalid code, or the database really exists in your machine. So that's guys how we do it. Now straight away let us go and we see how can we use this database that you created. Now creating a database is different from using. To use a database that you have just created, use a statement known as use, then you give a database name which is called students. At our case, or in this case here, the database name is called students. So hold Ctrl and enter, and as you hold Ctrl and enter, trust me, if I refresh here, you'll find that even that database becomes bold. Why? Because it's at the moment or at this point that database is under use, or we are in that database, so it's in use. So it makes it to become bold, and it differentiates it from the rest. So that's how we use a database after creating it. And another step that we have to do now at the moment, if I type here show tables, because trust me, our database does not have any tables or any table inside it. So if I type any table, at this case here, it will tell us we don't have any table here. So we don't have any table. That's why it said that tables in students, which is in the case is our database, but we don't have here any table. So we have now the next step here now is to create a table that's going to be in our database that we have just created. And in MySQL, it is okay. You can always delete these codes that you have written down once you have already compiled, you have already pressed, you have already hold Ctrl and enter, or you have already used this statement here when the cursor is blinking at this last corner, so that actually you can raise it off so that you can get a space. It is okay with MySQL because once code is compiled, it goes straight to the database and is kept there. So it's okay with me now. If I remove this statement, it's fine. Or I remove all of them, it's okay. But don't forget the database name, which is called student, that we are actually working on at the moment. Let us create a table. I'm just going to type a statement known as table, create table, and then give a table a name. We're going to call it maybe students, and let us call it students DB to be students table. And after then, let us here come down here and we start now putting value. Now always if there are these two statements, we put always what known as the opening bracket and the closing, and fully put terminate. Now I always like to do it like this because I know we always, as we people always used to forget, so forgetful, so may forget what actually we are doing and forget that at the end of the day we are going to terminate, and actually to need the opening and the closing bracket. So inside here, that's where you're going to start putting our codes. Our coding will be inside here. So I'm just going to start here with giving the ID to have the ID, and the ID is integers, and also make sure that you give it the number of the place value. Now this 11 here in integers refers to the place values like ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, up to billions and billions. So it depends. It simply stands for the number of place values. And I'm also going to call it not null. That implies I expect when I'm adding values into my database, it does not skip even a single row without adding a value or a number. So it will add, at least it is a must, it will be adding because I've put there what not null. And also I have to use a statement known as auto increment. Now this statement auto increment means now let me explain for you here something little. If you have ever programmed or you have never programmed, let me just make it understand something. If the value of x, I give in my case, if the value of x is equal to 1, and then I say maybe x plus plus. Now this statement simply means that this statement here, x plus plus, means add 1 to x, or at this default now, this statement means 1. That implies that if now I say here and I say what's now the new value of x, the new value of x will be 2. Why? Because add 1 to what initially it is, it will be 2. And now this statement auto increment means, actually that's what now auto increment means, because when you add in the initial statement or the initial ID, if it was 1, if the next time around when you add another person, it will be 2. So even it's going to save us from actually putting even other more people without wasting much time on actually adding even ID. So it will be doing it automatically for us. Now the next thing that you have to add is maybe the first name, since you're going to work on the students in the database. So first name, and also going to call it what known as a variable, a variable character. Now if this case here, if I say the variable character is 20, simply I mean that the number of letters that person's name should have, it's 20. If it is less than 20, it's okay, but if it is more than 20, then it's not correct because I limited it to be 20. Now this is what differentiates integers from a variable character. The variable character refers to every letter that you will be putting on. If there are 20, then it is okay. If more than 20, then it's not correct because I listed it to be 20. So it will be considering to one each, or each character that I will be having, or each letter that we will be having in the machine. And I'm also going to call it not null because the statement not null simply means that the person, it is a must, you have to fill that field. Or secondly, the person has to be with that first name. Then I'll also put there what known as last name, and I'll also put the same thing which is known as the variable character, and I'll also put it 20, and also I'll put it not null. Now at this case on my side, I'm just using this for demo. For you can even put more value, you can even put it to 255, or you can even put like this. It's okay, MySQL will recognize it, is okay. I'm just using mine as 20 for demo. For you can put yours any number you would like to use or you wish to use. And maybe also the next thing that I'm going to put at this case here is maybe max. So let me just say max, and max, please me, it's integers. So I'll just put it maybe the next number of max, I believe always max in percentage. So you start from ones, tens, and then ones, tens, hundreds. So I'll just put maybe like 3 to limit it, something like that. Then I'll also put not null because I expect a student to have at least a max. If it does not have max, then I'll put 0, 0. So you can either put null or not null, but I would like to use not null. Okay. Then next one thing that we have to set now at the moment is the primary key. Now the primary key, this is what the statement known as primary key. This refers to the unique way how can you identify a field or a column in a database. Now a primary key always helps us to identify a row or column in a database or a field in a database because it's unique. It's unique from the rest of every other thing. So at this case here, I cannot make max to be unique because you may find 3 people having the same max. But one thing that is very unique here is the ID. So let us come here and set the ID as our primary key. So I'll open also there and I put the ID, and always after doing so, don't terminate after you putting the primary key. It's not okay, it's not good, and it's wrong, and actually then you even give a star here. So always don't put it there, and always this is my opening and my closing like we did at initially as we began. So this is how my program is going to be. So let us just come and hold the Ctrl and enter when my cursor is blinking at this slice after the semicolon. And now our database, the table is created. Now we can use a statement known as select asterisk. Asterisk means everything. So select everything from the table, which table is called students table or student DB. If I use this statement and hold Ctrl and enter, it will show us that now the database we have is this, and now we don't have any values inside them there. It is just showing us the column for ID, first name, last name, and then max. Now let us try to do it very fast so that we can also add their max or add their values or insert information to the database. Now, how do you insert information to the database? To insert information to the database, we use a statement known as insert. You say insert name is called students DB, and always after doing so also come here and then you start. Now since we already gave this idea that our ID will be auto increment, or to be adding one, or to be adding one automatically, let us not, you don't put anything on the ID, just leave ID as it is. So we'll just straight away start with the first name, then give a comma. We also have the last name, and then we have the max, and then come down here and then we say values. Now get me, I use the small letters, as in I use the small letters when I'm giving my program. It is okay, you can use capital letters because MySQL is not very key sensitive, but it's not very key sensitive in terms of capital letters or small letters. So I'll just come in here, and you can use capital letters if you want to use, or you can use small letters also when you're programming. Now always we have to use what known as single punctuation mark, like that single. This is what I mean, single punctuation. Whenever you're going to deal with the strings, because strings are different from numbers or from integers. So whenever you're going like someone's first name, always put them inside a string, inside what known as the punctuation. So I'll put the first name maybe if our first name at our case here is what known as OSP, the first name, always put a comma after there. Then the next name maybe is David, then also put a comma, and then the marks maybe got is 50. Then you close the program, then put terminate it, and then you see after doing this first row, I never gave that statement a semicolon or a comma or semicolon. I gave it here after I gave it after the values. That's where you give it. So hold Ctrl and Enter, and as you do so, if again I come and write this statement that we have here in MySQL, you can always reuse a statement that you've written, save it as many times as you wish. So if again I come here and I hold Ctrl and Enter, it will show us now the values we have in our database. So that's how we add, or that's how we insert values into the database. So since our ID is ready auto incremented, to save even time, now let me just erase this upper part since we are done with it. I'm just going to erase it off. Now to add more values, you can just come down here and just change this. And let me just try to bring this down so that I don't confuse you. And also this, let me just erase that also. Now to put other more values, you can just come as here and just change this, maybe username here, and just maybe if it is JSP, maybe that's the name of the person, and maybe the name here is maybe David, and maybe the marks maybe got is maybe 80. Just come here and hold the Ctrl and Enter. That's how we insert the values. And as can you see down here, as long as you see a green with the tick, that implies that your statement is correct. Let me just change this name here maybe to Charlie, and maybe the name here is maybe Brian, and maybe the marks got maybe is maybe 60. So yeah, hold Ctrl again and Enter. So far, let us also add another value so that we can have like maybe 5 or 6. Maybe Nema. Then maybe the name here again is called maybe John. So you just come and put your 70, and I hold Ctrl and Enter. Let us add another last value. Maybe the name of the person is Livingstone, and the next name of him is maybe Gordon, and if maybe got maybe 40. So if I come here and hold Ctrl and Enter still, so far, let us now try to check how do you have so far in our database. To check what you have in our database, you just come, you use the statement known as select everything from the database. So hold Ctrl and Enter, and if you do so, this is what so far we have in the database. Now so far we have the values you have already inserted that information into our database. Now you can select maybe you would wish. Let me raise this thing up here of insert. So you would like to the ID, the person, the highest ID number to be the first one top. So that one is we use what known as order by. So you select everything from this asterisk means everything from students database, from student table. Then you say order by. Then you say order by maybe order by ID, then maybe descending. Now that statement means that descending implies it will, if I hold Ctrl and run this program, the person with the highest number of ID or the number it will be a top. The same applies if I told you like maybe the person with the last name, or descending means the person in a descending order means the person maybe with the name that is in alphabetically is maybe starting from Z to A, and ascending means starting from A to Z. So in this case, if I hold Ctrl and Enter, it will change the statement in this way. So OSP, since I use the first name, it is in Z to A, so it is number 1. And if I make it to be in ascending order, since I'm using the first name, and if I hold Ctrl and Enter, it will actually give you this. It will change it and file Charlie as number 1 in JSP. So that's how we do add and cross check for ascending and descending order using by order. Now let us also go in and we update our database. How do you update the database? students table, which we are trying to update at the moment. Student table, update to table. Then you set maybe I'm going to update. Let me try to first change this thing so that I don't confuse you. Let us put it back in the order as it was initially, so that we can continue in a good way. So if we say that update students table, we are going to update the table or the students database. So maybe you use the statement known as set. Set helps you to set the new thing that you want. I'm going to update the first name. I'm going to set the first name where there is maybe OSP. So I'm going to say set, and then since also I'm setting the name, so I'm going to use what known as punctuation. So I'll say maybe where there's OSP, I'm going to put there what known as Oguti. Then I close it. Then I will say where, and then I say where ID is equal to maybe that case our ID is 1. So if I hold Ctrl and Enter, you'll find that if again I come and call for this function here, if I hold this and do this, you'll discover that now the name from OSP has changed to what known as Ogut David, and the marks is that. So you can also come and also set and update also his marks. So you can also still use the statement and just change here, and you call it what known as marks. You give it marks, and then I told with the marks or with the integers, you can remove what known as this punctuation marks. This punctuation, you can move it. this punctuation which I'm having up, or you can also choose fine. You can just leave it as it is. And now in your case, you can also, if the marks is if it is that, you can give it like that. Inside that is okay with MySQL. And if you hold Ctrl and Enter, then if I come here up and I hold Ctrl and Enter, we get now that I've said for marks where ID equals to 1, and sorry, I wrote something else here. It is not L, sorry for that. So I have to hold Ctrl and Enter. If I come back here and cross check now, you'll discover that now the mark is 18. So let us also see how can we delete the information from the database. You say delete, just say delete from students, which is our table, students table, where ID, maybe where ID equals to 1. Now we always delete whenever we use to update. We don't use from, but whenever we delete, we say delete from students table where ID equals to 1. So we always delete in MySQL. We always delete using what known as ID. If you use other methods, I don't know whether it may work for you, but for all the cases that what I know in this real beginners, I would advise you, please, whenever you're programming, make sure you have ID in your machine, so that whenever you're trying to run something, it does not give you a hard time. So if I hold Ctrl and Enter now, and then I come and use this statement now, select everything from the database, in this case you'll discover that now number 1 is no longer there. Let us also delete number 5. So you just change this ID to 5. And now if I hold again Ctrl and Enter here, and then I come here out to run this MySQL statement again of select everything, it will show you that now number 5 is no longer there, deleted from the database. That's how we do with MySQL. So guys, thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thumbs up. I hope now you like the video, the channel, or the comment below. Don't forget to comment below. Thanks guys, we meet next time. Thank you.